DOJ's Inspector General issued a scathing report last month uncovering what some are calling the FBI's shockingly reckless process and practice of wiretapping on American soil. One America's Chanel Rion is at the White House with more.
An unprecedented apology. FBI head Christopher Wray, in a statement to a FISA court Friday, apologized in response to a scorching DOJ Inspector General report exposing FBI abuse of wiretapping and surveillance warrants issued under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, otherwise known as FISA. Wray's apology comes as a result of a FISA court looking into the wrongful surveillance of Trump advisor Carter Page. In a statement to the FISA court, Wray writes that the FBI's behavior surveilling the Trump campaign was, quote, unacceptable and unrepresentative of the FBI as an institution, and that the FBI deeply regrets the errors and omissions identified by the Inspector General. Errors and omissions that allowed the FBI to continue to surveil what we have now learned completely innocent Trump associates like Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and General Mike Flynn. President Trump responded to the apology on Twitter, indignant at the lack of justice for those harmed by these FBI abuses of power. Chris, what about all of the lives that were ruined because of the so-called errors? Are these dirty cops going to pay a big price for the fraud they committed? President Trump has relentlessly attacked FBI leadership for being, quote, crooked. This admission from Wray is vindicating not only to President Trump, but for the Washington set that has long suspected the FBI to be a corrupt and politically weaponized institution. As a reminder, FISA is a law with its own secret court system that allows the FBI to surveil suspected spies, terrorists, and foreign agents on U.S. soil. To obtain FISA warrants to wiretap suspects, the federal government must convince the FISA judge the person being surveilled is a foreign agent and a direct threat to the republic. We now know, after Horowitz's IG report, that the FBI lied about their reasons for listening in to the Trump campaign. The IG report demonstrated yet another instance in which Democrats and its weaponized bureaucrats were caught carrying out a felony. Yet, the question will remain, will Democrats or the FBI ever undergo any investigation or prosecution for the felonies to which they've admitted guilt through their apology?
Hello, everyone. So today we had some interesting news. It's one of those booyah moments. The FBI admits illegal wiretapping of President Trump. Just want to make sure everybody hears it again. The FBI admits illegal wiretapping of President Trump. So we actually have a guy here who comes out, says that this is what is happening, this is what happened through the FISA courts. They lied, they say it's errors and omissions. It's the same thing I can keep saying about big media. You know, they omit details where they want to. And the same thing happened here. They took things out and they added things in. They kept doing it the whole entire time, just so the FBI would keep surveilling Trump illegally. Now the big question here is, does anybody pay any time for this? We know the FBI. We knew this back when Trump took office. They were doing it and it was done, and they could argue and squish and squirm their way around it, but it didn't make any bit of difference because that's what they were going to do. And they were already caught in it. Now we're finding out that is indeed what happened, 100%. Now these people are trying to issue an apology. It's an apology. When the police officers beat somebody over the head that's an innocent person, does an apology suffice? Because as far as I can tell, there's like maybe 3 or 4 people that are in jail, possibly over this situation. And you're telling me they're in jail and the information used to put them in jail is fallible. You're telling me that a lot of that information was omitted or added in. So we don't even know what's true, and you have these people in jail. So I look at it like this. If those people are in jail and they stay in jail, that means the people that were running this FBI investigation, this illegal FBI investigation, should be investigated themselves. They should be investigated and thrown in jail for the same amount of time some of these other people were, because that would be fair. You threw people in jail based on false information. And you knew it was false. That's the thing. They're admitting they knew it was false. And now it's, oops, sorry, my bad. We ended up getting people thrown in jail. We got the whole country in an uproar over was our president being wiretapped or not? Yeah. Yes, he was. And he has even more of a question, because if he was right about that, then maybe he's right about the White House being tapped. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't want to be in that office for the first few months, because that was being tapped as well. And maybe there's some truth with that. There's a lot more going on than people think, I believe. There's a lot more gamesmanship being done behind the scenes than we ever get privy to. There's a reason why the Secret Service runs around and keeps things on the hush-hush to be able to keep the president safe, to keep us safe, to keep everybody around him safe. There's a reason why they do that. And I hope they're on their toes. I really do, because you got guys like these FBI guys who are willing to risk their career and lie to get somebody they don't like out of office or have a personal attack on them. They're being paid. Somebody's paying their way to act like this. But here we are. We have 100% proof now. It's not arguable. This report from OAN seals the deal. It is a done deal. He was spied on. And for all those out there that want to argue the definition of spying, understand there's a difference between an informant and a spy. An informant would leave the FBI, go to Trump Tower, tell Trump, hey, I'm an informant for the FBI. I'm going to be talking to all these individuals in your group. Now, you can't talk to any of them about us meeting, but I will come back to you with the info that I find, as well as tell my bosses. You can't stop me from telling my bosses, but I'm going to tell you and I'm going to tell my bosses. That would be an informant. Okay, he's informing the people that are in higher up chain of command. A spy doesn't bother with that secondary chain. He reports from the FBI, wherever he can get a foothold. He gets whatever information, then he comes back and then tells his FBI agents and the FBI bureau all about it. Trump is left out of the loop, which is very unfair, especially if you're going to try to accuse his organization and people within his organization of being involved with Russians. But here we have 100% proof, undeniable evidence, and I think it's wonderful that there's some type of vindication here for Trump. Time and time again, we're seeing more vindications thrown his way after some time, after some court dates, and it seems really odd that we have a president in office that he keeps being right. He keeps saying, this stuff is happening to me, this is what's going on, and then we find later down the road that this did in fact happen to him. He's not lying to us. He's not making the story up. This is what they did to you. And that's amazing to see such clarity in office. It makes you wonder, was Obama treated that way and he just basically was scared? Was Bush and Bill Clinton and all of these past presidents pushed around like this in secret? Spied on, all this other stuff, and that was in secret. The only reason why this isn't secret because Trump lets it all out. He lets everybody know what's going on all the time. That's why we know. We have never had such clarity before. Anyway, have a great afternoon, a great day, and a great morning, whichever one. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate that. We really need those. We need more of them. We need to grow this channel. Anyway, God bless. See ya.